Hello Flosstube, this is Mieke, Darling Bluebell from Instagram, making my first ever Flosstube video. I'm doing something I said I would never do. Just the other day I commented on Pam Reed's latest video that I don't do Flosstube because I don't want to take away from my precious stitching time. And here I am. I've been tempted for months and months by all you guys and your lovely videos. I always thought, it's not for me, I don't have anything interesting to tell, I don't have a lot of time, so why should I if instead I can be stitching? But the temptation presented itself for the umpteenth time and I thought, I'm just gonna give in now. I've never done anything like this before. I've never recorded myself in such a way, so I'm feeling a bit self-conscious seeing myself below the camera. So I don't know if I'm gonna like this, I don't know if you guys are gonna like it, but we'll just see. I thought for my first video I would tell you a little bit about myself and I would show you the stitching that I've done up until my discovery of Flosstube and Instagram about a year ago. Well, introductions first. Like I said, my name is Mieke. I live in the Netherlands. I'm 31 years old and I work as a communications specialist for an insurance company. That may sound a bit boring, but it is a really fun job. It's quite demanding, but it's fun. I have some amazing colleagues that I like a lot, so that's good. Stitching is, well, like all of us, one of my big hobbies, but there are a few other ones. First and foremost, I am hugely into dancing, especially salsa. Dancing for me is just instant happiness. I love doing it. I dance 3 evenings in the week, which does not really leave a lot of time for stitching, but it just means the world to me. Apart from that, I really like movies and series. I have a cinema 3 minutes from my house that I really like to go to. And I really enjoy watching all my favorite series with my best friend Sasha. Hey darling, if you're watching, love you. I love everything from Once Upon a Time until Suits, until Downton Abbey, which is now finished, until the Marvel universe with its spin-offs. If I can make one recommendation, I would recommend you to watch The Night Manager. It's currently running on BBC One Sunday evenings, 9 p.m. British time. It has a stellar cast including Tom Hiddleston and Hugh Laurie. Big fan of Tom Hiddleston ever since Loki. It's a sort of spy, tense, suspension, thriller story. They're in the 3rd episode now and it's really good. So if you like that sort of thing, Sundays 9 p.m. BBC One. So there's movies and series, there's salsa dancing. I'm a big lover of everything that has to do with Spain and Spanish. I especially love the city of Barcelona. I visited Barcelona 10 years ago in 2006. No, that's not true, 2007. Early 2007. And ever since I set foot in that city, I've been madly in love with it. There's just an atmosphere there that really fits me very well. And last but not least, people who know me on Instagram already know that I have a crazy passion for the color blue. I don't know why, it has just always been a part of me. I get drawn to blue things, whether it is in clothes or accessories or cross-stitch designs. If you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen that I recently posted a conversion of Mirabilia's red. I've never been into Mirabilia. For some reason, the dresses always look amazing, but the smug, arrogant faces are not really my sort of thing. But I came across a blue conversion of red that I just instantly fell in love with. So there you go. I love blue. That's about it, I guess, about me. Now let's get on to my stitching. I learned stitching as a kid from my mom. My mom is what you would call a serial starter. If you would go to their house and enter my old bedroom, you will see that it's stuffed bottom to ceiling with bobbin boxes, cross-stitch magazines, whips, UFOs, what have you. She really likes to start new things. And I think if I look at my own stitching adventures, that I have caught a little bit of that virus, but that's just fine. She taught me how to stitch. when I was, I guess, about 8 or 9. There's one thing that I have left from that time, which is this cute little butterfly design. I finished this, I guess, when I was 9, 10 maybe. I have no idea who made this. I guess it came as a kit with one of my mom's cross-stitch magazines. I've never really done anything with it. It's just a simple scrap piece of Ada, but this is one of the first things that I did as a kid, and I like that I still have it. Then there are 2 projects that I started, I believe, somewhere in my teenage time, that are just genuine UFOs. I have started these at some point, and I know for sure that I will never ever finish them. So if you see them and you're like, hey, I would like to adopt that whip, drop me a line. We can no doubt figure something out. But no pressure, huh? I mean, you don't have to. They will just, I will not put these in the bin, but they're just, you know, gathering dust in a drawer somewhere. The first one is a Leonard kit. Sorry about the glare. How can I do this? There you go. It's a lady with a dog, a sort of garden scene. Pattern and threads are all there. And this is what I've done on her. It's a piece of even weave, 100% cotton, very soft fabric, but this is all that I've ever stitched on her. I have no idea, no recollection of when I started this, but I know for sure that I'm never ever going to finish it. And the second piece is a tiger. I started this somewhere in 2012, I think, 2011 or 2012. It's from Cross Stitch Collection, January of 2010. It's called Paw Prints in the Snow, and the designer is Chris Heat, or Heat, if I'm pronouncing this correctly. I love tigers, and I would very much at some point in my life like to stitch a tiger, but it's not going to be this guy. There's just too many monochromatic stuff going on in the background, and there's no blue in it. I mean, come on. This is what I've done on him. That's it. It's a piece of white Ada. I think from the look of it, it's either, yeah, I think it's 14 count. This is all I've done, and I know for sure that I'm never ever going to finish him. So, too bad. Those are the 2 UFOs that I have. Everything else is either finished or a work in progress. So that's pretty good. In 2002, yes, 2002, when I was 18, a few weeks before Christmas, my mom and I visited a cross-stitch shop in Utrecht, which is one of my favorite places in the country. The cross-stitch shop has now gone, unfortunately, but it was this amazing old building by a canal in the city center. It was jammed bottom to ceiling with kits and fabrics and threads and what have you. It was a wonderful place to be and just, you know, look through everything they had. And my mom was there searching for a new project, I think. I was just browsing through everything they had, and I came across 2 kits, 2 companion pieces by Leonard. And I know some of you will recognize these. I've seen them on a few Flosstube videos. They are called Night. That's the first one. And Day. Night and Day. They are by Dutch designer Maria van Scharrenburg, and as soon as I saw these, I fell in love with them, and I had to have them. And I remember that I was going to the checkout to pay for them, and my mom just sort of grabbed my hand and said, no, it's almost Christmas. These are my gift to you. So these have been in my possession since 2002. As you can see, Day is still very much in the package. I've never opened her. I've never put a single stitch in her, but she's lovely. I started with her sister Night because guess what? She has the most blue shades in her. And this has been, oh, sorry, this has been my holiday piece. For a very long time, between like the age of 18 and the age of 30, stitching would be something that I did solely in the holidays. I just never found the time or the relaxation or the peace and quiet in my week-to-week rhythm to stitch. So stitching was something that I did on the holidays. As a result of that, I have been stitching on this beauty since 2002 and she is still not finished. But she is about 75% done. And let me see if I can get her up on screen. Here we go. This is Night. And as you can see, I have the bottom left corner still to do. Sorry for the dangling thread, by the way. This piece has so many memories for me. She has been all over Europe with me. She has been with me to the beach. She has been with me to ski resorts. She has been with me everywhere. As a result of that, she is by now desperately in need of a wash. This is once again 100% cotton, 28 count even weave. I'm stitching her 2/2 in just all the recommended threads that came with the kit. And I'm now, the last thing I did was working on the bottom right corner. And now I am going into, or at least I hope I will at some point go into the bottom left corner. I love her. Like I said, there are so many memories attached to her, and I hope I will someday finish her. Given my speed with this, it may take another 3, 4, 5 years. So by then I will have stitched on her for about 20 years. Well, I'm 31. Let's hope that God will give me at least another 20 years to live and I will be able to finish her sister Day and finally hang the two alongside each other up on the wall. But this is by far my most treasured piece. Whenever I fly, I will always make sure that I put the fabric in my hand luggage. The pattern and the threads, I can still come by them, but this I will at all times keep with me if I'm traveling. I'm never ever putting this in my luggage, in my cabin luggage, just to be sure. That's what I stitched on for, well, 12 years, between the age of 18 and 30. And then in February of last year, so a year ago now, I ran into some health trouble. I couldn't work for 3 months, and that is when my stitchy bug came to bite me very, very, very hard. And there are 2 people that I have to, well, I can't really say blame, I have to thank for that. First is my darling best friend Sasha, and secondly there is my mom. New Year's Eve 2015, going on 2015, I spent with Sasha, and she is this really creative, crafty person. She is amazing. I'll see if I can put a link to her blog somewhere below. And around New Year's Eve 2014-15, she was very much into crocheting. Nowadays it's knitting, but back then it was crocheting. And I visited her and I asked her at some point, can you show me how it works? I've never done it, I've seen it done, but I don't know how it works. And she just pulled out this huge basket with all these lovely colors, and she was crocheting at the kitchen table. And I felt that sparkle inside, like, oh, I want to be crafty as well. I want to take my stitching out and I want to stitch. I didn't have my stitching with me at the time because I was only there for a couple of days, but that sparkle sort of, that stayed awake after I came home. And then about 2 weeks later, I was at my parents' place, snuggled up by the fireplace, reading one of my mom's latest cross-stitch magazines, and I came across an interview with the lovely Satsuma Street, Jodie Rice. I'm sure many of you will know her. Many of you will have stitched her stuff. She is amazing. She makes such wonderful designs. And the interview was in, I think, Cross Stitch, just Cross Stitch magazine, Cross Stitcher. And it showed pictures of her pretty little Amsterdam, her pretty little New York, her pretty little London. So I was like, maybe she will have done a Barcelona design also. I looked her up on Etsy, and for sure, this is my copy, and this is the one that I printed up, and there's many. I made many alterations to this once I stitched it, but this one, I am so happy that I ran across this one. I found this at the end of January, and at the beginning of February I got sick. I couldn't stitch, I couldn't work for 3 months, and this pattern has helped me keep my sanity in those months. I finished it well, around the time when I got back to full-time work, and I've absolutely loved doing this. I made quite a few alterations to the pattern because there is a lot of orange tones in it, and I don't like orange. So I've swapped them out for more pinks, and I've put a lot more blue in there. And here is my finish. There you go. That's my pretty little Barcelona. It's on a simple piece of 14 count Aida, and I've just, well, like I said, I've loved this because I've been to Barcelona so many times. Every city, every site that she has designed in here has a memory to me, like the Magic Fountain. I've been there so many times, and especially the Sagrada Familia over here. That has got to be the prettiest church in the world. Believe me, if you have never been to Barcelona, you need to go. I need to stop talking about it, otherwise I will never stop. But I love Barcelona. If you've never been, go there. Honestly, put it on top of your to visit wish list. So here's my finish. I haven't fully finished it yet, and that's because I want to stitch 2 companion pieces to this. But I will show you those in my second video, if I decide to make a second video, where I show all my whips. So this is Pretty Little Barcelona. I started her in February of last year, and I finished her around May. And that's it. I guess that's it for now. How long have I been talking? 18 minutes. Oh dear, that's quite enough. If you are still watching by now, thank you so much. I hope I've done well for a first time video. I would love to hear your feedback. I would love to know what you think. And I'll see you guys around, either on here or on Instagram. My handle on both places is Darling Bluebell. So I hope to see you guys around, and happy stitching.